If you're looking for fast, cheap, reliable mud coins, make sure to check out buymudcoins.com. Link in the description. Use code CK for 10% off. Welcome back, you guys. Your boy CK. Now, for the longest time, the question I've always asked myself is which state with multiple NFL teams is the best? You have Pennsylvania with the Eagles and the Steelers. You have Texas with the Cowboys and the Texans. You have Ohio with the Browns and the Bengals. You have Maryland with the Ravens and the Redskins. You have Florida with the Jaguars, the Dolphins, and the Buccaneers. You have California, the only state with more than 3 NFL teams, the Rams, the Chargers, the Niners, and the Raiders. And the final state you probably thought was going to be New York, but it's actually New Jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Sorry, Bills fans, but the Giants and Jets actually play in New Jersey. So now you know the states, let's take a look at their rosters. For PA, we have Carson Wentz and Big Ben, probably the best 1-2 punch at quarterback, maybe top 2. Running backs, they have one of the best trio, Le'Veon, James Conner, and J-Trey. Their wide receivers are extremely good, man. They have the best wide receiver in the game, Antonio, Alshon as wide receiver 2, Golden Tate in the slot along with Juju Smith-Schuster. They might have the best wide receivers top to bottom of any team in this tournament. Not to mention they have Zach Ertz at tight end along with Vance McDonald. Their offensive line is top 2 and it's probably not 2. I'm not just being biased, man. Both lines coming together to form one of the best O-lines in the entire tournament. Same with their D-lines. Guys like Graham, Tuitt, Hayward, Bennett, Cox, Jernigan, and Hargrave. The linebackers could use a little bit of improvement, man. I think TJ Watt deserves higher than an 80 along with Simba and Bradham. And then their cornerbacks, probably one of the weakest spots on the entire team, and Hayden as their cornerback number 1. Free safety, they have McLeod, and then strong safety, have Jenkins. Kicker is going to be Jake Elliott, and their punter is going to be Jordan Berry. Now, on paper, in my opinion, this is the second best team in the entire tournament, so they should be a favorite to move on to the final. And now it's time to head west. Let's take a look at what the California roster is going to be looking like. With guys like Rivers and Goff at quarterback, Todd Gurley, Gordon in beast mode at running back, Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Jordy Nelson, and the speedster Marquise Goodwin at wide receiver. Not to mention probably the best tight end trio in the entire tournament, Hunter Henry, George Kittle, and Jared Cook. Their O-line is insane. They have nobody less than an 80. They have 2 guys above a 90, and don't even get me started on their defense. Easily the best defense in the entire tournament. Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Melvin Ingram on the same defensive front 7, along with guys like Reuben Foster and Joey Bosa. Their cornerbacks are ridiculous as well. 2 guys 93 overall and above, along with Talib, Desmond King, Verrett, and Peters. Their safeties are so good that Derwin James doesn't even start. Their strong safeties are John Johnson and Jaquiski Tart. Bars. Their kicker is Robbie Gould, and their punter is one of the best in the NFL, Johnny Hekker. So yeah, 95 overall, their offense 97, their defense is 99. They are the favorites to win this whole thing. But that is why we love football, because it's very unpredictable, man. I could see them getting upset in the first round. You never know. So with that being said, let's take a look at the Florida team, led by Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tannehill. Leonard Fournette is going to lead the way at running back. You have some really good guys at wide receiver like Mike Evans, D-Jax, Kenny Stills, and Amendola. Their tight ends are pretty decent, OJ Howard and Safarian Jenkins. They also have a top 3 to 4 O-line in the entire tournament, man. Everyone is above 80 except for one position, that's the right guard. Their D-line is ridiculous as well, with guys like Campbell, Wake, JPP, Ngakoue, Gerald McCoy, and Jackson. That's probably the best D-line in the entire tournament. And then you have Levante David, Telvin Smith as your outside linebackers, along with Miles Jack and Quan as your MLBs. Makes for probably one of the best, if not the best front 7. And then they have the 2 best cornerbacks.
Jesus Christ.
And then Optimus Grimes in the slot. So their secondary is filthy as well. This is what I call a sleeper team. Do not sleep on the Florida team coming out of this as champions, bro. Now they're only an 89 overall because their offense is kind of sort of weighing down their defense, but do not be surprised to see them in the final. Heading back up to the Northeast, let's take a look at the Maryland team, led by Alex Smith and Joe Flacco, Chris Thompson, Adrian Alday-Peterson, and Alex Collins at running back. Now their wide receivers is really what holds them down, man. Crabtree is going to be their best one, but they do have some speedsters like John Brown and Paul Richardson. Their tight ends are above average with Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed. Their O-line needs some work. Like, it's very inconsistent. They have a couple guys over a 90, and then they have a couple guys under an 80. D-line definitely slightly above average, man. Not many notable names, but guys that get the job done. Their linebackers above average as well, man. Ryan Kerrigan, Zach Brown, CJ Mosley. They're in contention for the best linebacker core in the entire tournament. But they have 2 nice guys at CB1 and 2, with Norman and Jimmy Smith. And their safeties might be the best best in the entire tournament, man. Definitely top 3. Justin Tucker, the best kicker in the NFL, and Sam Koch are leading the way for their special teams. They have a lot of underrated players, man. This is another team that should not be slept on. Now this team right here, you can go ahead and get a pillow just like me, because you could probably sleep on them. The New Jersey squad, led by Sam Darnold and Eli Manning, but they do have a couple bright spots, especially on offense, man. Saquon Barkley, and of course Odell Beckham Jr. leading the way at their skill positions, man. Evan Ingram with that 90 speed, one of the fastest tight ends. Their O-line is horrendous though. That's what's really gonna hold them back, man. They have 0, I repeat 0 guys, except for Brian Winters, above an 80 on the offensive line. Their D-line is pathetic as well. They got rid of Snacks Harrison, so their only elite guy is pretty much Leonard Williams. And it doesn't get much better when we look at the linebackers, man. They have 2 guys above 80, Avery Williamson and Vernon, but that's it. Cornerbacks, probably one of the worst in the entire tournament, man. Jack Rabbit Jenkins, a nice number 1, but behind him, it just gets kind of sad. Now their safeties are the one bright spot on defense that I think if they play to their potential, they have a chance to maybe force some turnovers. But yeah, man, that's what their team is looking like. It doesn't seem to be a finals, roster in my opinion, but hey, crazy things have happened. 82 overall, one of the lowest overalls in the entire tournament, is going to take a miracle. Now we're going over to Ohio, and this roster is not that bad, but it's not that good either. It's just kind of average, and that starts with the quarterback position. When you look at a guy like Andy Dalton and Baker Mayfield, they're not bad, but they're not elite. Same with the running back situation, man. They have some nice young guys, especially Duke Johnson, Nick Chubb, but their bread and butter is going to be their passing game, because they have guys like AJ Green, who's elite, Jarvis Juice Landry, who's an elite possession wide receiver, Tyler Boyd, who's coming to his own, and then John Ross, the speedster, and then of course Tyler Eifert, 89 overall, leading the way at tight end. Their O-line is a little bit weird. Their tackles are both below 80, but their interior is just unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie, man. They have 2 guys over an 88 overall. Now their D-line is definitely above average, man. I think their defense in general is just really filthy, man. Myles Garrett leading the way along with Geno Atkins and Ogunjobi. However, their linebackers bring them back to earth because they only have 1 guy in the entire linebacker core above an 80. That's perfect. Cornerbacks, I think they're pretty much middle of the pack. Denzel Ward, the rookie, leading the way. And then there's safeties.
You guessed it. You was right.
Average as well. I just don't understand it, man. It's crazy how one team could be so average, but hey, I wouldn't count them out just yet, man. It seems like they're very balanced on both sides of the football, so they might make some noise. And last but not least, we going south for this one, man. Let's take a look at the Texas roster. Watson and Prescott leading the way at quarterback. Zeke Elliott, one of the best running backs in the NFL, along with Lamar Miller, a very nice running back too. This team got extremely lucky though, because if I did this tournament 3 weeks ago, they wouldn't have Amari Cooper. They would not have Demaryius Thomas. So now they have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver group in the entire tournament. However, their tight ends are strictly
garbage.
Their O-line is not. They probably have a top 2, maybe top 1 O-line. Their only weak spots are left guard and right tackle, but every other position is above a 93. And don't even get me started on their D-line. Probably the best D-line, maybe second to California. JJ Watt, DeMarcus Lawrence, along with David Irving. We haven't even talked about their linebackers. Merciless, Sean Lee at MOB, along with Jalen Smith and Jadeveon Clowney. Can we talk about how filthy that front 7 is, man? That's scary to go up against. Byron Jones, who emerged into his own this year, is going to be their CB number 1. Justin Reed and the Honey Badger at safety, man. This team, bro, I'm telling you, this team is stacked, man. You might want to place your bets on this squadron. They have the 3rd highest overall in the entire tournament, only behind California and I believe Pennsylvania. So yeah, they're definitely one of the favorites to come out on top. Now that you've seen the rosters, let's take a look at the bracket. On the left side, we have Pennsylvania, Maryland, Texas, and New Jersey. And on the right side, we have Ohio, Florida, and California. It kind of sucks we only had 7 teams, but you know what? I felt like it was only right to give the highest overall the bye week. The settings are as follows, man. We're playing on All Pro and Arcade. We turned coach firing off because we don't want the Bengals firing Hugh Jackson right after they signed him. We turned injuries and pre-existing injuries off so we could play some of the bigger names like Shazier, Hunter Henry. And our quarter length is going to stay at 6 minutes. If I see the scores being a little bit low, I'm going to change it to 8, but I think that's good for right now. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. This is the introduction to the tournament. You guys cannot wait for the first episode, which I don't know if it's going to be on the right side of the bracket or the left side of the bracket. Either way, if you can't wait to see it, please destroy that like button. The more likes I see, the faster I will get these videos out, man. Thanks for watching as usual. Please do me a favor and subscribe if you are new around here. And that's for me.
Gotta run when I hear the bird call. Yeah. Hop in that thing and murk off, swerve off.